realized that I wanted to write one or two more things in the description for the stream before I went live, and then I neglected to. So, whoops. Hey. It's just like working on ship teleporters. It's like, yeah, that's probably it. That's probably it for today. We might get into some objective stuff if that goes well. There are some weird tools within, there's some weird tools that the dark mod people have set up within the editor, for that specific kind of thing, and those can actually interface with scripts as well, scripts for maps. But you know, we'll get to that in time. So last time we were encountering some errors. We got all the teleporters set up, fortunately, and they were working when this ship was staying still. However, there's some issues that start to arise when this thing starts moving, and that's not ideal. Excuse me. So, we need to start figuring out what the hell's going on. And I don't know. If we seem to be butting our heads up against this wall for, most of this session, then I might try to think of something we can move towards doing instead. I will say that, I have specified that, there are some, locked doors that we're going to be, placing and implementing in this map, but, we have not done so yet, so we can probably get more into that, if this ship moving thing does not pan out. So, let's try and do this. Okay. So I guess just to refresh everyone on where we are. Oh, hey, Ossian. Oh. I was on the wrong. Do I need a date map? No, I didn't need to. Alright, so moving over here, and the ship is here. Unfortunately, it does not seem to be moving properly. Let me turn up the gamma on this, actually. That should be good. Is that any better? Not really. Yeah, sorry, these are pretty dark areas, as is befitting of a Thief game. And what in the world is that up there? That cube? Yeah, we'll look at it later. So let's see. There should be the entrance to the captain's quarters. It's going to teleport us to the other, except it's gone to the completely wrong coordinates for some reason. And I don't know why. So yeah, it teleports us outside of the map, like way over here, even when it shouldn't be. So that's something we have to figure out. One potential problem that I just kind of want to see if we can get rid of is that I was initially just using weight nodes that you would use for like AI as like the points to indicate like, you know, this is the location where you like teleport the player to. But oh yeah, didn't I do something funky with this particular? Yeah, replica point, get location, get origin instead of just get origin, I think. Yeah, okay, that might be contributing right now as well. But regardless, when the ship actually gets moving, this thing, oh god, when the ship actually gets moving, these things again start teleporting the player out into the void there, and that's not ideal. And so I think in the tutorial example that I was looking at, they were using more like the dork mod. Thanks, Tails. You gonna shop that? Tails is a known very good Photoshop shit poster. So bonus points if it includes an Ed and Nettie reference. So yeah, this thing, the dork mod. So yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think it was target, null. There we go. A generic target to point camera views at. I don't know. I don't know if that's what we want, but hopefully that'll work better. I guess that's in the clipboard. Okay. And yeah, this should be bound to oh yeah, what was this thing? Func ship mover. Well, I'll just click on that. Okay. Theoretically, that should work. It's the same name, right? D map. You know, I'm not sure exactly what the D in D map is short for. I should look that up sometime. And ship is here, still not moving. Great. Okay, so okay, nice. And no. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can diagnose what's going on here. My instinct is that I don't know if there's like a point out here that's like at the origin of the world, as in like 0, 0, 0. Um, well, actually, out. Oh, hang on. Actually, out here. Yeah, that's about, or here, that's about at 0 in the y direction. And down here is 0 in the z direction. Tinkleberg map, yes. The y and the z and the x. Yeah. Yeah, so right about here, where the origin of that thing is, right about there is where 0, 0, 0 is in the world. And so I think when the I think when the scripting just doesn't know what to do, it just teleports the player to the origin, and that's why we keep ending up here. So if I like move down here, yeah, pretty much. Damn. Okay. So first off, just for the hell of it, gonna make a little platform there. And this will be func static. How about there? It's about a player height and a half below the origin. And for debug purposes, what I'm going to do, so teleport replica, that goes to our ship on the side that's outside of the external map. It's the sort of fake static one. And then we have teleport world, which is the moving towards the moving ship. And we have the issue Captain Teleport World Point. Yes. But it says get origin. Yeah, so we're going to call the system, ask it to print out something to the console, and what we're going to print right after we teleport the player is exactly where the player was teleported to. 1.get origin, that should be it. Oh. Okay, I know why. It's because of that little platform. I don't think we've run into this case too much, but I'll just explain briefly. As long as you're making things out of world spawn, the compiler does not care. As long as things are airtight, they won't leak. But the thing is that as soon as you convert this to a func static, that's not world spawn anymore. That's technically a type of entity. And so if you have any entities that are outside the main area, that's considered a leak. So we actually can't. We have to keep this as world spawn. If we want this little platform there. Wait, I think I just had a, I think I just had a realization. I'm just gonna test this and then I'll, come back to you. Okay, so we're teleporting to the replica just fine. And, well, I think we missed that, but, if we open the clip model outside bounds, oh no. Wait, hang on. Player dealt landing damage. You can land, no target, no clip. Oh no, oh, come on. Well, I saw it briefly at least, and it was not, 000 necessarily. The tank mod. Thanks, Nevin. Oh, I should mod you. Okay, so I think I just had a realization, and this would be way easier to explain with a more contemporary tool like Unity. But I think what's going on here is that tricky bind thing. And you know what? That would actually explain it. Okay, so the bind property here is I can open up Unity and show this, show a little something. So it all has to do with the difference between world location and local location or local position. And sure, we'll use my project that I haven't touched in weeks. Maybe someday it'll open. No, don't ask me about updates. Okay, so in the context of a newer game engine, you typically have something here called like the object hierarchy. And basically, what that means is that you can see which objects are parents or even exist on their own, like this cube, or you can click these drop down arrows to reveal the child objects that are underneath. So, for example, for the third person camera for this guy that I've set up, the camera is a child object of the actual player object. And the advantage of that is that the engine handles movement and it applies movement whenever the player themselves moves to all of their child objects as well. And so basically that means that like the camera point is like attached as an object. It'll move with the actual player object. And it can move independently as well, but if the parent moves, the child will move, but if the child moves, the parent won't necessarily. And so basically I'll show you an example. So yeah, you'll notice how like the camera in our perspective is actually just moving in tandem with the player avatar object. And of course, I can still, like, with the way I've set up this code, to move it relative and rotate it around the player independent of their movement. But yeah, that the camera still stays attached. And so the thing is that if I take a look at like this, you have your position, rotation, and scale, and that's just on any of these objects. But the thing is that when you are looking at a child object under a parent object, this is referred to as the local position and the local rotation, because basically how the engine updates everything each frame is that it takes the world location here. So if I start moving, you can see over here the positions of these numbers moving. Whereas if I were to, move the camera, or whereas if I were to select the camera and move around, that's not moving because it is still, and if I rotate the camera, it does. But basically, this is showing us that this is like negative 2.2 units in the X direction from the player. It is 2.34 units in the Y direction from the player. And so it is relative to its position to another object. And so the thing is that if you mix these things up and instead you set the camera to be, negative 1.7 units in the X direction relative to the world origin, well, that could be a completely, and it will most likely be a completely wildly different position than the one you're intending. And let me tell you, getting this camera working, there were a lot of mix-ups between local and world position and local and world rotation that I had to account for. So yeah, that is at least I guess a more visually understandable way of doing that. At least I hope that makes a little more sense, because in id Tech 4 we do not have that visual hierarchy. Unfortunately, this kind of predates that sort of idea. But what I think is going on basically is that this bind property makes this point a child object of the ship. And so basically, in code, when we're asking it to get its origin, it's getting its origin relative to the ship, and so that's local space. But when we apply that to the player, who does not have a parent object, then they get teleported to those locations as if they were world space, which means way out here. And so the fact that the player is actually pretty close to the origin, the fact that the player is close to the origin and is actually, I think we were teleported a little, if you can see, I think the fact that the player was teleported a little in like this direction over here relative to our origin point platform kind of indicates to us that, they're being moved in this direction in terms of local space, and that's kind of the exact same direction that our little teleport point is relative to the ship's origin. So I think that's what's going on. Now the question is, how do we actually take care of that? I think what we can do is we can just get the location of func ship mover and then add the location of our teleport point, and hopefully that'll work. So I know we can do some vector addition in here. Func ship mover get origin plus captain teleport world point plus origin, or get origin, you know what I mean. That is the correct name. I just want to double check on that. Func ship mover. Hell yeah, was. I responded to the Twitter post. Oh boy. Do we want to pull this up? Yeah. Thank you, Tails. Okay. Okay, so I think we figured this out, and this was less of a catastrophic bug than we may have initially believed. And again, yeah, I know we got it moving properly once before. Okay, we're in the replica and the moment of truth. Not quite. All right. And again, I will scroll up here. So that appears to be our coordinates. I'll write this down. Negative 688, 12. Oh no, my mistake. Negative 688, 40, 112. Yes. Flip on outside. But it's weird because if you look at these errors, the Z right, the Z is the vertical axis, right? So at least in IdTech 4. But the Y changes pretty drastically as well. It goes from 40 to negative 41. That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Quit. Yes. Alright, so I'm gonna... pull up the Dark Mod Wiki, look at the script events. Oh, come on. So to get origin, apply impulse. That's not what I want. All right, 1 of 4 matches. Okay, yeah, that's exactly it. Returns the current position of this entity relative to bind parent, if any. Uh, cool. Is there like get world origin, regardless of any bind parent? Okay, I think that's it. So enough of this crap. Get world origin. And get, well, I don't know if we'll need that, but so because of that, I don't think we need to demap because we just changed the script. Hopefully that's the case. All right. Moment of truth. Did that need to be sung? Not really. Okay, here goes. Yes! Yes! Oh! Yes, we did it. Hell yeah. Oh, man. Oh, thank God. Thank God it was that simple. Nice. Okay, so that's one issue down. God, we could get this thing fucking moving by the end of today. I hope so. Oh my God. Small victories. So yeah, I'm gonna just apply this to all the I'm gonna do something fancy. Dot get origin, and I'm gonna replace that with dot get world origin in all cases, and we are going to. Does it matter? I don't think it does. Like, I don't think there's any case where it does matter that it's local position. Okay. So, so because of that, this is, well, this is not bound, but we will get all of these bound to the ship mover. So hopefully it'll still work, and then we'll figure out why the hell this thing isn't moving. Not what I wanted. Okay. I believe these are already set up. Yeah, they are. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly test all of those before we add more complexity in terms of actually getting the ship moving consistently. Typically, that's how you tackle like engineering problems. You make sure that you get like a small piece of it, like knowing and working, and then you start adding more sub goals within that. Right. Okay, so first off, of course, the captain's quarters teleport. And yep, that's good. Now the main deck teleports. And boom. Good. And now this one. Good. Okay, now I just need to do the one in the stern. Right here. Yep. And I believe, yeah. Sweet. Okay. So that's fine. This is not necessarily going to be accurate to how this is going to end up, but I think I just want a little more light in this area because it's kind of tough to see, even in the context of being in a dark room and playing this game at night. I mean, it's not night now, but I'm sure it would still be a little tough. Okay. So hopefully they'll lighten things up, or at least provide at least more contrast in terms of us being able to see the silhouette of the damn ship. Anyway, no, I didn't want to do that yet. Okay, so now we have ship moved point. Start spline at func spline mover. Oh. Right, because this is the thing that wasn't updating its position, and so that was probably because we were using get origin and not get world origin. Yeah, and so this thing was needlessly convoluted, I remember, because it's like we can't have the ship itself moving. And we can't have it attached to the thing. Pardon me. That has the move data, the actual NURB curve. Is that we need like a third entity in between those, which is just which is this thing, the ship move point. Func spline. Okay, so yes, this model is func ship mover. It's bound to func spline mover 2. And that's the one that's the one we're moving. Or telling to move. Yeah, so I don't know if it's an issue of like this, um, if Tech 4 can't handle like multiple um, like hierarchies of like parent-child objects, because this would be a child object of Func Spline Mover, but then all the teleporters would be um, children of the ship, and so that basically means they're like grandchild objects, I guess, or like second order child objects to the original mover. And so I don't know if these things being bound to the ship model is like messing with that in some way. Um, Again, I should play the map and actually see if it's updating its position now that we've got the proper code. Oh, I guess I don't need this sticky note anymore with the with the coordinates. Um, okay, so
I'll piss where I want to piss. Smells like pig filth in here.
okay, so it's not actually moving, or it might be doing the same weird stuff that it was doing before. It's nothing obvious, right? Ship move point. Oh, I'm an idiot. The ship move point is the thing that's actually moving. It's not the Func Spline Mover. Ah, God. Again, it's a little more convoluted than it needs to be. And did I? Yeah. Press attack. Okay. Hey, we got movement. Okay, so yeah, the ship move point is moving, but the ship is not moving with it. Or I don't know.
Son of a whore better have my money.
I mean, it has not been moving the last few times. And that appears to still be the case. And I don't know why that is. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna try and see if binding everything to the ship move point instead is gonna work. Well, when it was moving, I know that we had our big Func static thing here. But that's bound to the ship model as well, and that was working fine. Okay, ship move point. Instead, I'm gonna make that a bind. And then I think just this one. Okay. In the meantime, I might want to pull up the Darkmod wiki again just to check if there's any info I'm missing on bindings. Your skybox is in now, or the back half is. So yeah, things still ain't moving. Alright, so looking this up. Binding that the relative position of the slave to the master will stay the same. That is their terminology. I'm just used to parent-child. I would also advocate that parent-child is probably better to use. Forces that act on either the slave or the master are relayed to the other entity, making them act as if they were one unit. Entities can be bound at runtime or at map compile time. Unbinding objects can happen through player action. Bind orientated, bind adjoint. Bindings? Bindings. Or is this just talking about like key mapping? Yeah, it's key mapping. Okay, this is not terribly helpful. Bind orientated. Nah, that's like rotation. Okay, so this thing used to be a like a mover with a model. So I'm not sure I can change the class on this without like deleting and replacing it. Movables? No. Funk mover A model. And we control through scripts. I'm just kind of throwing this at the wall. Let's see if this works. No. What the hell? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so how about we have this thing? It's bound a spline mover. Now, don't want a new window of that. What was that, ship funk mover or? Funk ship mover. All right, let's do this instead. And have it move directly. Funk ship mover. Funk ship mover. Funk ship mover. I probably could have done the replace all there as well, but oh well. Right. Gonna close the other curtain too. Hang on. Okay. And oh, that is thousands of units away. Why is that the case? Yeah, and now we're getting this janky behavior that we got before. So, geez, it said it was like... It's a few thousand units away. That's really surprising. Which I think means it's up here. Oh no, that's a skybox. And clearly I can't see it. Actually, now that our teleporters are working, maybe I can use this to get there. As dumb as that is. So if I slide in here. Oh no, the oh, they didn't move with it? That's gonna be a problem, I think. Okay. So instead of that, back to square one, I guess. Well, not square one exactly, but yeah, I'm gonna undo. Yeah, okay, so that's a static. Ship move point, and this is oh my god. Just bound to the wrong goddamn thing. Ship move point. Okay. Again, this is why I don't like this system. Okay, now I have to undo all this. Which, to be fair, was not a lot of work to undo, but... Ah, God. And we have movement. Of course. Of course, it was something so basic and so stupid. Now to test this. Okay, the teleporter's still there. Works, and yes! We've teleported back onto the ship at exactly where we need to be relative to the ship exterior. Okay. Progress. This is great. Okay, so the next part of this, I'm sure you saw. Well, I mean, first off, there are tons of bits in the ship interior that are not included um, that were not included in the func static for the interior, but um, that's pretty simple and straightforward to fix. The problem now is these things. So the way, I mean, like clearly you could see the ship like clipping through the thing. The way these things work in a real canal is that well, you wait for the water to be level. We're not quite there yet, I don't think. To worry about that, I want to get this done first. The way these work is that they wait for the water to get level and then they kind of swing open, like a pair of doors. Or sometimes you have like one big lock that kind of swings the whole length here. This might present problems because I don't know if the ship is going to necessarily have enough space and enough clearance for these to swing clean and like not clip with the hull. So yeah, I gotta think of how I want to do these. There are a couple of different ways that we could do it, I think. I'm not sure this necessarily happens in real life, but we could have a fun little, like, maybe they kind of slide in or out of these adjacent structures, kind of like sliding doors. That might be a way to work if we can't get the hinge action going here. But I think for right now, I just want to see what we can do with the basic func mover classes. So I go to movers here. Mover, elevator, door handle, button, base, default mover. Don't use. Default lever. That might work. Rotate lever. No, that comes with a model. We don't want that. Translate lever. Lever, brass, copper. That comes with a model. Yeah, I might treat this like a lever that rotates like 90 degrees or something like that. Because it must have like a point of origin that it rotates around, right? 0045. I'm gonna go. Let's go 80. Because that's gonna be the Z direction, and I believe this is gonna be the positive rotation. I'm gonna need to look this up in script events real quick because I'm not exactly sure what you can do to call this guy. Mover, id mover binary. I think this derives from that. Close portal, disable, enable. Oh. Oh, you can have render portals associated with this. All right, because the doors do that as well. ATDM move lever, mover lever. At property, I'm going to be looking through here. I think there should be something like time or duration. Or speed, maybe. Translation velocity and doom units per second. So it must be like a rotate speed, right? QRS, T. No. Not really. Move time to fully open, whatever the angle. Okay, we can do that. I don't know, let's go like 20. Hopefully slow enough for us to view it. And I believe that's going to be around the origin, right? So, well, I mean, we'll see. But if... I don't know. If my suspicions are correct, it's going to rotate around this point like this. Instead of like rotating relative to this, like the hinge that we want it to be. And if that's the case, like we'll know how to fix it. You know, I just realized I didn't actually add the code to call it to move. Boy, that was silly of me. And that is void activate. And I do have its name, right? Mover lever 1. One dot activate. And you can enable or disable it. That's nice. And that's just code. Too few parameters for function activate. Oh, entity activator. We'll just want to get the player in there. There's some weird choices that they make in terms of player 1. Yeah. Yeah, there's some weird choices that the scripting language makes at points. Map. And we are good. No? And let's try that again. No. Let's demap. Yeah, cool. No. Just gonna restart. D-map. All right, there we go. So, yeah. So if I recall, I put this code in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it is rotating. It is rotating around the origin. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I thought that would have been in the Z direction. The Z axis. Hey, what the fuck do I know? Alright, and we do know that that was around the origin, so we can actually tab Q, move this relative to the origin. Now it's on the corner, and we can stick it like that. Oh, I didn't actually apply that change. That's good. Yeah. It's good that I caught it. It's not good that I didn't. You know what I mean.
Four dogs at once. That was a good fight.
And okay, so it's along the axis I want, but in the wrong direction. That is totally fine. Oh, that's gonna be really fun. Okay, so we just make that -80, and we're all set. And then for this, we are also going to make it a mover lever, and then we'll make that 80 because it's rotating in the opposite direction, so I can like fold out. and then we'll have move time be 20 because that's what the other one had. And then we will move this thing relative to its origin. And this is mover lever 2. Name's the same as the model. So we'll just oh, actually we can just copy, paste that, mover lever 2. So that should... God damn. You think we can get the whole sequence done today? Of the ship moving through the canal? Because tweaking the exact time is real easy. Like if we get like a version of it that runs through it in like 3 minutes, and then we can just like change the values later to be like to make it more like the half hour that's gonna be. Right. Hell yeah. Quick. Aw, Skippy. Look at that. Ah, so I think the player could jump to places like, yeah. Okay, I gotta figure out ways to call that out. Feeling few bites. Sorry for not answering here. You're fine. Okay, so because of this now, I think we can sequence everything. Like we have all the tools we need to get this thing all the way through the canal and like working. Okay. So I'm going to rename these just for the sake of clarity. And I'm going to call this Lock 1 South. And I will name this Lock 1 North. And that was 2 and 1. What's it? Lock. Oh, I forgot already. God damn it. Lock 1 North and Lock 2 South. Or Lock 1 South. Main problem with your target audience is when they turn up YouTube, they mostly sleep. no matter what's there. Are you talking about like time zones, like people in Europe? No, that was move time. Yeah, you were off my time zone. Yeah. Yeah, that's just the unfortunate thing with streaming. Yeah, people keep asking me about like where that playlist of past streams are, and or is. The playlist is singular. The streams aren't. Yeah. So if you go to my channel and you like look under playlists, there should be a playlist with like all the prior sessions there that you can look up. People keep asking me where it is, so clearly there's like something I need to figure out to make it more visible. And what that is at this point, I don't know. I would love it if, say, for the videos segment of YouTube, I could actually just embed like a specific playlist, the way like all my videos show up in chronological order, because that would like really ameliorate this problem, I think. Move time 20. Name lock 2 north. South. All right. Streams lack the action. Yeah, that's also fair. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. I did plan it out for the first time. Unfortunately, things have kind of gotten shaggier, let's say, since then. It would definitely help if I actually started asking people, like designers, if they want to come on the show, which I've kind of let slide because we've had these issues with trying to figure out how to implement this. And now that we're kind of moving forward, I feel a little more comfortable pursuing that. And also, that me trying to get people on actually overlapped with my layoff, and that was not terribly great. I mean, the times that we had Matt Davey on, my former coworker, those were definitely like way more energetic streams. And so I hope to ask some more people, hopefully pretty soon, because we are actually getting to this to a point where I think like there are things that I can do that in the level that are not like dependent on me forming a sentence or wouldn't impede me forming a sentence, but scripting I don't think is one of them. Like once we get into like environmental decoration, like I'll be able to hold a conversation simultaneously a little better, hopefully. Oh, and those are, I did not rename those. Lock 3 north, and then lock 3 south. Ah, well, thank you. Maybe if I were not unemployed and demotivated all the time, I could actually live up to that. Speaking of, I've not talked about some pretty cool news. Monday, I had a phone interview with ZeniMax Online for a level designer position, and that was pretty exciting. They called me up, and I was, a little concerned because I do not have a lot of experience with Elder Scrolls Online. And that kind of came out in the interview, but they also mentioned like, yeah, well, we know you don't have MMO experience necessarily, but we saw your videos and it seems that like you put a lot of thought into things. And I was like, oh dear God, they've watched my videos. So yeah, they brought those up like in a favorable way during an interview, which I'm still kind of astonished by. The biggest thing for me, in terms of, actually, let me pull up my shit, where was I? Yeah, let me get my little diagram out here. The canal. Here is actually where this comes in handy. I'm not going to worry about the water levels just yet. I just want the ship moving and the gates moving in sequence. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about this right now. If I type this out into my script for like pseudocode, then we should be fine. And so yeah, I'm mostly just terrified of other designers actually seeing my videos because they're the actual sort of people who I feel have the know-how to like watch my stuff and like call out any bullshit that they might perceive. And in this case, they actually seemed to vet it and verify some of its usefulness. So it is a nice relief to know that making those things has actually been helpful. I'm going to put all this stuff into a separate function called canal logic. And so I was, really nervous and sweaty about how that interview went, but on Wednesday, I got an email from them saying that they want to fly me down for an in-person interview. So, yeah, which is pretty intense. I'm excited. And basically that means that like I bought Elder Scrolls Online, and I'm like going through it now and being like, oh, I need to I need to apply my sort of method of deconstruction on this thing, and hopefully like I can get a good sense of like what they're looking for. I don't think I need these anymore. I'll have one sysweight there, and then so yeah, don't know when the interview is going to happen yet. They've still got to schedule an exact day, and you know they want to they're going to buy me like my plane tickets, and they're going to put me up in a hotel for the night before. But yeah, that would be very strange to jump from half QA, half designer on a project that did not go well to like being designer on ESO. Man, that's gonna be wild if that goes through. Oh, and the giant enemy crab people got back to me, and they just said like, yeah, we're not continuing with you, which fair enough. Activate system wait. Can I get their like wait time via code? I'm all the time. Yeah, can I get their move time? Move time. Get move time for id mover. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Let's just wait, and then I'll do lock 1 north dot get move time. And so if I readjust this property, within the level editor, like it'll automatically like wait that period of time, and that's pretty nice. So yeah, ship move start spline, and then func spline mover, and then does the spline have move time or move speed or something? Oh right, we're supposed to ship move point dot time. Yes. But that's just time, not move time. So is that different? Current game time in seconds. No, that's not it. I'm looking at the documentation on my second channel, or second monitor, by the way. I don't have a second channel. Well, I guess the playing field is my second channel, because I just have a personal one with a bunch of junk on it. Yeah, and then I'm gonna do sys.wait, and it'll be ship move point dot get move time. Mm-hmm. Just want to double check. So many places on this. Yes. Sets the movement time. Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then I think if we activate it again, it should move back. It should like rotate in the opposite direction. Okay, first off, I think I want to. That is not what I wanted. Just put a comment there, basically being like, what was the diagram? And the diagram says here, lock 1 fills, lock 2 drains. It's these bodies of water in the middle. So just so I have a little note of what to put there. Okay, it closes. Lock 1 drains. Lock 2 fills. And then that should be lock 2 north, lock 2 south, and then we'll wait for the lock 2's move time. And then lock 1 drains, lock 2 fills, and then the ship is going to need to move on a spline down with the water as it drains. Ship move point on downward spline. Okay. And then ship move point on spline into lock 2. And then we'll close those doors. Lock 1 drains, lock 2 fills. If that's correct. Yes, lock 1 fills and lock 2 drains. And with that, ship move point on downward spline 2. And then gate 3 is going to open. So lock 3, lock 3, lock 3. And then the ship will move. Ship move point into exit Yeah, into exit. So basically, that's going to be the structure of the ship moving through there. So right now, the ship is going to move like once because we only have the spline ready for that. But then after that, the successive locks should open and close appropriately. So let's try this out. And we still got like an hour 15 left. I think we can finish it. I wouldn't want to show this off until we get the water moving with it anyway, so... So, I don't know. I don't think we'll get to that today, but definitely by unknown value canal logic. What the hell? Do I need to call that relative to system? Alright, well. Let's try that again. Unknown value canal logic. Quit, yeah. What in the world? Like this is... Do I need to look this up again? Jeez. I swear, there are just some choices in terms of the way the scripting language was set up, which is just bizarre to me. I mean, like, I understand, like, this was cutting edge in 2004, but... scripting... Scripting basics? Is that it? Flow data type. No, vectors, entities. Sys entity. Thread use. No, scripting. Triggering the def menu. Break up script? No. Entity def? I don't know. Button functionality and frog triggers. Like, seriously, you would think that calling one function from another would be something very basic. Do I have to go to the mod wiki? Tech 4 mod wiki. Okay, so separate from the dark mod site, there's a website that was separately dedicated to idtech 4 and doing its stuff. So I don't go front page. This is most similar to Doom 3 because it the dark mod was based off of the Doom 3 code. Scripting, basic stuff. Scripting events and levels. Void, set up objects. No, that should be perfectly fine. Oh, do I need to do that weird, like, wait frame thing? Oh, wait. You must declare any functions and or global variables before you attempt to call them with main. Okay, I think this is kind of dumb. I think I recall this. Because this is read in at runtime, it's going to need all its definitions in code of a particular function before they're called in code. So basically what that means is that, like, the interpreter for the script, like, comes down, it's reading all this logic, and then it comes to this line, and it's like, well, we don't know what canal logic is. So it basically just, even though the definition is right here, so it basically just throws up its hands. It says, I don't know what you want me to do. So instead, I think we need to simply move this function down below the definition. There's something similar to this in more formal code, like in C++. There's stuff called like forward declarations and things like that. But just to have it on your scripting language, I don't know, man. Oh, and see, it's looks like it's perfectly fine now. Now if the map would load. Yep, see, that was the problem. Something as finicky as that. Oh. What happened with these guys? Nothing weird here, as far as I can tell. Is the timer done yet, or? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the ship should have started moving by now. What in the world? Okay, so what if I just do... Instead of that, why don't I just do sys wait 20? Alright, let's try that again. ones, no, they just disappear still. Okay, before we do that, I think I want to do system.wait frame. What in the world? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's working perfectly fine. Yeah, that's kind of a known issue with some things in ATEC 4. And look. Is this... Oh. This doesn't have collision. They did before. God, that is bizarre. I know this thing has moved, clearly, but... Okay. Model... Is there something about collision here, or... Yeah, I'm just gonna say lock 1 south. Let's say that. We'll see how that goes. Now in here, the time is actually set to 25 for movement, and it didn't seem to be getting past this point, so I'm just gonna say that. And again, I think with these other things, we're gonna wait. We're gonna hard code the number because apparently it's not having a great time. this thing move. And these guys are closing. Which means that after that, these guys should open and close. Yeah. They kind of Z fight with each other. Right, so those are working. Whoops. Well, clearly those work. What in the world happened there? Oh, I forgot to put wait time on there. Or no, move time. Sweet. So let's lay down the splines. So we've already got a spline in this entity here. If we go into vertex edit mode, we can just pull this out. I'm going to try and get this about halfway. I'm not sure. I think it'll probably be like within the locks themselves. Func spline mover. And we're going to make a copy of this. Or no, we're still in vertex edit mode, so we will not. We'll make a copy of this. It's going to be right about here. Dang. Yep, right about there. This will be. We'll actually make this 4. Because this one is. This spline is 2. I don't know why I made it 2, but. It is what it is. Actually, if I recall correctly, there was a specific interval. No. Yeah, there's a specific interval. I was moving these water volumes down by like a certain number of units each time. So let me double check that. That is, yeah, 128. Just as I thought. So I will have to move this down precisely 128 units. And this is in 32 unit increments, so right there is good. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about it. And this is going to be 6. All right. So we're going to need another one of these guys, but actually starting here. This is just going to go straight down. So one, 2, and then directly below. Two, 3, 4. And then have that. Yeah, that's about right. And then that's number 3. And this, I'll make a copy of this, move it over here. Hey, how you doing? Beautiful. And that should be all the splines that we need. So let's see if this is gonna work. So we'll have this guy move out to the center here. And then it'll be, oh, I just want to double check that this is number 5. Yes, it is. Okay. So we're starting at number 2. So this will be on number 3. And then, again, system will wait. 5. Number 4. Number 5. And then number 6. Oh boy. So close. Oh, right. You already have it typed in. And I've already used it like a dozen times today. All right. Anyone got any popcorn? These guys are going to open. This thing is going to move through. We will care about the flotsam and jetsam of the interior in a bit. Does it actually look like it has the space? Not quite. Maybe we can rotate it out farther, the blocks out farther. And yeah, they don't exactly have the clearance they need. Oh well. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Okay. Alright. That must be because the spline is actually pointing downward, so it's copying the rotation of the spline. Oh my god. And there it goes again. And only one of those got edited for some reason. That does not. Hmm. All right. Good. Clearly, some things we need to fix. Okay, first off, in the map, that did not get the move time property for some reason. That's easy. Okay, so I know in the example of camera splines. Splines and camera movement. It basically has the camera like point. If you follow this example, the camera basically moves on a spline, but like it keeps like pointing or fixating on a particular like enemy that's moving through the scene. So I know there's a way to get it the rotation of something independent from its movement on a spline. Cinematic. Is that what that would mean? I don't know. Oh, target. So it's like a camera thing. So I don't know if herbs curve. Yeah, this is the only thing. Well, this is on cutscenes that also happens to deal with splines, lighting, extras. I don't know. All right. Well, let me look at these. Let's see if there's like a property I can look at. Rotation, angle. I don't think that's going to be helpful. I mean, there's a couple of different ways we could do this. We could set the mover to actually just like move down this amount of height. And we wouldn't have to do like a spline in this direction. Yeah, I think we can do that. Maybe before that, I want to check if there's any like functions that we can call for any functions that we can call for the NURBS curves. Returns true if a mover is rotating. It says stop rotating. Okay, initiates a translation to the position of an entity. Yeah, we can probably do that. Move to, so point dot move to, and that'll be spline mover 4. And instead of this, we'll go move to spline mover 6. Nice. And so hopefully we can just delete these vertical ones if this goes well. Yeah. Oh, did I forget a semicolon? Dang. Yep. Whoops. not. Wait, is it though? No, I don't think so. Nah, that just snapped. They're big time. To the position of an entity. Yeah. Let's do move to pause. And get that. And then something like that. And then that should be good to go. Oh man, of truth. Great. Okay, cool. Wait, let's see how hard this thing snaps. Into position. Yep, that's bad. So. Okay, so why is it? I don't know. So I don't know if... Oh my god. It's right here in the... staring me in the face. Disables spline angles. Disables aligning the mover with the spline direction. I'll bet you that's it. And that's called on the mover itself. So... let's go with 3. Ship. Move. Point. Dot. What's it? Disable. Spline. Angles. Yeehaw. I think I only need to set that once, but I'm just going to do this again right before 5, just in case. All right. Greeted with a bored sigh. I'm so sorry. No, that's just the way scripting goes. It's like you solve one thing and then it reveals like another problem. It's a real peeling the onion thing. You also have to give me... it's quite warm in my room and I've been going for 2.5 hours now. So, but we are getting closer and closer to getting this thing actually working properly. Hey! Look at that. It's working. There was a little snap in the difference between the last spline's end point and this spline's begin point, but dude, I'll take it for now. I just want to try something. Just to double check, triple check. Oh. Well, this thing is moving so fast I'm having trouble staying on it. I wanted to check the teleporter. Certainly, I think that's going to be less of an issue when it's going to take like 8 minutes for this thing to move. And here, and here. Ah, oh, beautiful. Yes. Still working. This thing is sinking. Wow. Oh my god. We got a lot done today. Like, holy shit. Okay, so all the splines are needed and they're there. What's going to be a little more of a predicament and what's going to be interesting is moving the water volumes because I know we can. Problem with this thing is that it's going to we need to set it every frame basically to set its position because funk liquid or liquid water in this case I mean clearly it's not like a mover. You can't like move this thing from one place to another and have it just like slide over a certain period of time, but in my test maps, I did manage to get a water volume hooked up to a switch where it would like teleport between two places. So you can set it to move to a certain place, but the thing is just that it's going to be there instantaneously. And so the thing is that if you know where your water volume is starting, and you know where you want it to go, then you can basically like lerp it or apply linear interpolation per frame, and yeah. Problem with that is that this is a function that is it's waiting for like 20 seconds, and clearly in those 20 seconds it's like not calling things every frame, or not calling logic within this function every frame. So that's gonna be a bit tough. I know there's ways to get different threads running in scripts, but that's not something that I've messed with prior. I'm gonna have to do a bit of research on this, I think, before we go any further in terms of scripting. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, but no, this is it's still a lot for today. So yeah, I'm gonna have to set up or figure out how to set up a system to move the water independently of everything. But for right now, I think we can just close out these last 15 or so minutes with getting more stuff actually moving with the ship. So yeah, I'm gonna convert more things to func static and then bind them to the ship model, and then we should be good. So I know we have the big static thing here, right? Yeah. So I'm just gonna move that out of the way, like that. And then we're basically gonna select the remnants. Oh, and we have to bind these doors to move with the ship. I wonder how well that's gonna work. Beep. I think that's everything, aside from the doors, but we'll get to that. Func static. Then, just like this thing, we're going to bind it to func ship mover. Then and 5, I think it was 5 units. Yep. Then I think if we bind this, we bind this, and this, and this. And we should be good, I think. And while we're at it, let's get these to less crazy speeds. What's that diagram I had? I wanted this to take 8 minutes to move through a lock. Or no, ship follows spline 1. That'll be 2 minutes actually. So Excel time. Let's actually do like something like that. And that'll be 120 for 2 minutes. We may need to slow that down depending on how crazy the player needs to run to like keep up with things. Yeah, something I don't think I communicated necessarily is that when that ship was moving through the canal at that speed, like I was not moving with the ship despite being on its surface, and so I was being like pushed through a bunch of the collision, which was not great.
What a bugger.
And I think with this as well, because this doesn't have collision anymore for some. Oh, now it does. Why in the world did that come back? Okay. I'm not sure what I changed. Oh, whoops. I did not have it wait for the right amount of time. Right, that's going to be 120. Yeah, see, I'm sliding relative to the ship. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think those doors needed to be bound to the interior of the ship anyways, because if the player's going to be inside there, then they're already going to be, oh dear. Yeah, they're already going to be, what's it, like, on the replica, if they're seeing those doors. So the ones underneath don't necessarily need to actually exist. We are running into problems here. Jesus. I am not a fan. That could be a potential for a lot of bugs later on. Yeah, I might want to stretch this out to be even slower because of that. Oh, there's like some small stuff I forgot there, I guess. And I don't know what that cube is. That has been bothering me for some time now. It's just like a small weird cube up here. Oh, I see. No, that's part of a separate. All right. Well, I don't think we have to fret over that at this point. How do you usually know what feedback is valuable and what is not? That is a very good question. We will be addressing that more certainly when we actually get this thing up for playtesting on the Last Life forums, which is an aspect that has been so long in the making that I have forgotten that was our goal at certain points. There is a point there because it's like players may not necessarily be describing exactly what their problem is, but they might be like hyper fixated or like fixated on a particular like symptom of a problem, and that's sort of a thing you have to negotiate, and something that you have to sort of like read between the lines for. Now, I mean, if there's something that's very like blatantly wrong with your game or with your maps, like players are gonna like point it out, and if there's like a particular collision bug or something, or if like a particular like gun doesn't work or something, then you will get feedback on that, and players will say the gun doesn't work, and it's like, well, okay, and that's still good to know. But in terms of like describing issues with a map, they might describe their particular experience, but they might not be getting to like the core issue of what's there. And again, we'll be looking at that, and I hope we can get at least a couple of people to sort of stream their playthroughs like on this stream, or like I can get this computer like in front of people so that they can play through the map, and we can actually like stream their play session, so we have like video to reference when picking through this. But yeah, that's a skill in and of itself, and there are people who are dedicated to that. There are like positions in the industry that are popping up now that are like user researcher and playtest coordinator. Like one of my friends, Nate, from college, he ended up as a playtesting coordinator at Bungie. His contract just expired, but or I believe it just did. But yeah. So then he's just like dedicated to that and like getting people the data that they need. So yeah, it's a very serious aspect of design. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm pretty damn happy with how this went. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and this will be on the playlist under the playlists in my channel page, as always. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.